Hello, Mr. Guttenberg.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you doing today?
Really good. Glad to be on the phone with you.
Yeah, it's an honor to be speaking with you. I'll introduce you to my co-host, Ton.
Hey there, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Tim? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Glad to have you online. If you're ready to go, we'll get started.
Let's rock.
Well, I guess first of all, you're currently working on a project called The Pride of San Quentin. It's about baseball, yes. What can we expect from that?
Well, it's not only about baseball. It's about the ideology of rehabilitation, which in our prison system was created in about 1950 by the greatest prison warden of all time, a guy named Clinton S. Duffy. And Mr. Duffy believed that inmates were not animals, they were people. And the entire ideology of the prison before 1950, going back to the caveman, was corporal punishment, where if a prisoner wasn't performing the way you wanted him to, you beat him. You put him on a chain gang in the middle of a highway. You made him break rocks. You humiliated him in front of other prisoners. And Clinton S. Duffy said, I'm going to change that. I'm going to create something called rehabilitation, an ideology which believes that like a broken bone, you can mend it, rehabilitate it, and have that patient walk out of the doctor's office. I'm going to take broken men and women, I'm going to mend them, I'm going to rehabilitate them, and they're going to walk out of prison. And he changed the course of the penal system forever. And through Blackie Schwam, he created the San Quentin All-Stars, which became the greatest prison baseball team of all time, in which inmates played like free men for 9 innings. And for 9 innings, they played free men from IBM and from Levi Strauss and all the companies around the Bay Area. And it was so important for these men to get their pride, to lose the shame of being incarcerated and gain a pride about being good at something. And that's what our story is about. And it's quite inspiring, and it's quite timely, because the United States and everybody is fighting this system of incarceration now, because we have 5% of the world's population. We have 25% of the world's inmates, and we've got to change that.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like some heavy-duty stuff and something you sound pretty passionate about.
I really am, because human rights are so important, and they're just being dismantled, all over the country, all over the world every day. If you see how people are treated, and I think the great part of what we have going right now is a great story about treating people like the human beings that they are.
Yeah, definitely kind of sounds like a change of pace from, some of the movies that people might remember you from, especially the Police Academy movies, kind of the other side of that, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, when you're a creative human being, you have many different points of view and many different interests, and I'm lucky enough to be able to be creative with those and be involved with those. And, some have to be about commercial endeavors, and some people have to, the idea of movies is to change society and to entertain, because what are we really here to do is to entertain and educate, just like your job. You're here to entertain, but at the same time, you're here to give out information. And that's what movies and film has always been about, especially in Europe, is to change the course of society through a thin screen, a sheet, and light. That's really all it is. It's just sheet and light. What is your method of transportation? Would be a box and sound, and you can change the world. And we've seen movements occur, and now we see them occurring on the internet that way. So it's a really powerful medium we have.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you've been involved in a lot of films that have been real classics for a lot of people. We mentioned Police Academy and, of course, Cocoon and 3 Men and a Baby. One of our favorites, Short Circuit. I know we used to watch that all the time growing up. Do you have any funny memories maybe from shooting that movie?
Well, Short Circuit, it was just a ball. I remember the first time I met number 5. He was a puppet, a giant puppet. And I walked into the room, and John Badham actually allowed me to have a conversation with him, with the puppeteers behind a curtain, so it appeared as if he really was alive. It was extraordinary, and it was a great acting exercise.
Now, with the remakes happening of all kinds of things, we see it all the time these days. Have you been approached, or is there any kind of remakes that you're aware of of any of these classics that might happen, and would you be involved in them?
Oh, I sure do hope so. You know, they're fantastic. They're going to be a lot of fun. I know that we're going to remake Police Academy. We're going to remake Three Men and a Baby, Three Men and a Bride. She's going to be pregnant. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you mentioned some of these films, being kind of a way to entertain people and trying to break out and do different roles. And I know you've been in so many cult classics and beloved films, and a lot of them had sequels as well. So is it kind of hard to maybe shed those kind of characters when you're going to be doing more serious roles like The Pride of San Quentin?
Well, I don't want to shed any of those roles. Those roles are great roles, and the audience is smarter than you think. They're able to take an actor like Tom Hanks, who did Bachelor Party, and then encourage him and support him in a movie like Philadelphia. The audience is much more sophisticated than we take them for often. And just like anything, you can have a conversation with your grandpa about something about nonsense, and then turn it around and talk about something meaningful. So I think it's the same way with entertainment, with actors. The audience is really open and desires more from everybody. And if you're willing to step up, they're willing to listen.
Yeah, for sure. We have to ask you kind of an odd story, but we know you were a part of Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl music video. Can you give us a story on that maybe, or how that came about?
Well, yeah, it was so interesting. Dan Aykroyd and I were invited to participate in the Liberian Girl video, and I said, great, and Michael was going to direct it. So we got to the set, and you get your usual burrito, and you kind of look around and say, well, where's the director? And he was so secretive. You didn't get much contact with him. But all of a sudden, someone came up to me and said, Michael wants to talk to you. I said, okay. And I was brought into this trailer, which was one of the biggest trailers I've ever seen in my life. And there he was, just sitting there, plain as day, sort of regular. I think he was eating a bagel and butter or something like that. And he was as unaffected as anybody could be. I was really impressed by his ability to just let go. I had a great time working with him, and I had a great time working with Dan. It was a really great experience. And also, what's terrific about material that actually has some quality to it, like Liberian Girl, or a lot of the movies I've been lucky to be in, they last, they stick around, and people talk about them years later. And that's the real true test of something that works. So I've been pretty lucky to be in movies and television that sticks around.
Yeah, definitely. Like we mentioned, we've been huge fans of a lot of the stuff that you've been in, and looking forward to your new stuff. Is there anything else you want to mention before we let you go?
Well, this season on Community, I'm going to be about on the 7th or 8th show. It's been picked up by Yahoo, and I think your listeners will have a great time watching it.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll check that out for sure. Steve, it's been an honor having you on today. Thanks so much.
My pleasure, man. Looking forward to it. Thanks a lot and tell everybody out there, just listen to, and get a chance to look at Steve Guttenberg, Steve Guttenberg at Twitter. That would be great.
All right, we will do that. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.